Hello, my friends. I am B, and this is B's Intuition. And today we're going to do a little reading. And let's just do something like, what do you need to know? Something simple, something not too complicated. Let's dive in, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to know right now? And right now is just whenever you see this. There's no particular timeline intended. But, oh my goodness. Some things are moving forward for you. You may not know this, though. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Actually, I will keep that like that. Yeah. 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 Actually, I think that was that. I think that was one. Okay. So we have the Seven of Swords. Don't know what that noise was. The Knight of Swords coming out in that direction. And then we have the Eight of Wands. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Five of Swords. Very interesting energy. Yeah, let's just dive right in. I'm not going to try and make any assumptions. All right. So let's start by clarifying that Seven of Swords, shall we? Please and thank you, Spirit. What should the collective know about? What do they need to know about with that Seven of Swords? What is this? Spirit, what's the truth? Spirit, what's the truth to this Seven of Swords? What is being hidden? Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So, clarifying that Seven of Swords, we have the Page of Cups, the Lovers. And when I asked for the truth, we received the Queen of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Five of Pentacles. Very, very interesting energy. So, Seven of Swords, not the best card. Typically speaks of duplicity, deception, hiding something that more than likely shouldn't be hidden. And the fact that it came out with the Page of Cups and the Lovers made me a little bit nervous. And that's kind of why I asked for the truth. But I really think that the truth is, you are this Queen of Pentacles. This is somebody that feels like the Five of Pentacles. They feel like they are sorely lacking in comparison to you. If they're showing up as the Page of Cups, they may even be younger than you or feel immature compared to you. Like just a guppy, whereas you're a full-blown fish. You know the ways of the ocean. They're just getting started out or something. The reason I was nervous seeing the Page of Cups and the Lovers, first off, Page of Cups can definitely be an indicator of immaturity. The Lovers card, though, the Lovers is a tricky one because it can so easily be used as a tool for misleading. It's so hard to kind of describe these more woo-woo concepts because the Lovers card, I could see that definitely being somebody that wants to play into the whole soulmate thing. But the thing is, the lovers can mean so many other things as well. It doesn't have to be specifically about finding your soulmate. And not to mention, we have different types of soulmates. Just because somebody is your soulmate doesn't mean that they're not going to hurt you. Unfortunately, we have karmic soulmates. They teach us lessons. You know, there's people that are in our lives for just a season, but they can still be considered our soulmates. So I was nervous because we are clarifying the Seven of Swords. I was nervous that somebody wanted to come in towards you, pretending to be this lover person, trying to play into that soulmate thing, but maybe secretly hiding something. But I think, especially because I asked for the truth, we received the Queen of Pentacles and then the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And I think that that is the truth here. This is somebody that views you as the Queen of Pentacles, but internally they're feeling like the Five of Pentacles. They feel like they are in lack, but they feel a draw towards you that is very much like a soulmate connection from their perspective. So I don't think that this person is hiding anything when it comes to their feelings. When it comes to you, I think they're pretty clear on how they feel about you. But maybe they put you on a pedestal, or they just feel like you have your stuff together better than they do. There's also maybe a sense of you being untouchable and they're on the outside looking in at your life. Maybe you get a lot of attention. Maybe you're in the public eye or something. But it gives this sense of you being untouchable at the same time. So it's like they feel this very powerful pull towards you. But at the same time, they feel like they're nothing compared to you. And that could simply be because they're not super experienced. Maybe they haven't had a lot of life experience or a lot of relationship experience. And they feel like you're more experienced in that way, potentially. And also, you know, the Pentacles can deal with that foundation within, that sense of security within yourself and kind of knowing who you are. And the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like, definitely embodies that kind of energy. This person could still be figuring out who they are, trying to build up that foundation within themselves. But the thing is, the Page of Cups could be a message, but I don't think it always is. No. It can be somebody with a message, but I tend to look at the pages as just being a little bit more timid. So I don't always see it as somebody with a message. I think that they have a message within that they probably would like to share with you, but I don't know if they will. And maybe that's what Spirit is trying to tell you here. Going back to the theme of this reading, what do you need to know? I think you need to know that if you're feeling like somebody has feelings for you and it's kind of like on the tip of their tongue, waiting with bated breath sort of thing, and you're kind of like, what is going on with this person? And also, why aren't they just telling me the truth? You may kind of, your intuition may be going off on this person, but you're not quite sure what that intuition is saying. It may be saying that someone who knows you to some capacity may be really much admiring you, feeling like you two are a match made in heaven, but they're too insecure to actually pursue this at this point. And maybe that's what Spirit wants to let you know. It's not that they're doubting their feelings, it's that they're doubting themselves. Damn. Let's explore this bottom of the deck then. I kind of want to get some more details. So yeah. Could be a combination of them feeling insecure, but also maybe not knowing themselves super well, or at least not to the capacity that you understand yourself. And I feel like, so part of this could be that they are insecure. They may not fully understand themselves yet, or have that foundation within them. But also they could be on the outside looking in, seeing you as a star and seeing themselves as like a pauper or a peasant in comparison. Interesting, very interesting. Let's see what's underneath that Five of Pentacles then. The Judgment card. Now that throws a little bit of a wrench into this story. But in a positive way though, because the Judgment card, well, it can encompass so many different things. But there is a big rebirth process to the Judgment card. There's typically a wake-up call involved. So in terms of if somebody has things they need to work on, this could be coming to their consciousness, and maybe even Spirit is encouraging this person to work on this. Especially if they see you as their soulmate. They may think maybe this is worth putting in that extra effort to make myself the best version I can to impress the collective and to be the best match possible to them. There could be something that you said or did to this person that encouraged them to start seeing things this way. If you are more experienced or older, or yeah, you don't even have to be older, you could just be more experienced or whatever, you may inspire this person. If you've done a lot of internal work on yourself and you have grown to the point of becoming the Queen of Pentacles, which more than likely you have to get to this place, you've done some sort of internal work. Maybe they're inspired by your story and they're like, if the collective can do it, then maybe I can too. Because like there's that rebirth theme as well with the Judgment card. Transitioning. Yeah, you could be an inspiration to this person, and they're like, okay, maybe if they built themselves up to this Queen of Pentacles, maybe I can build myself up to the King of Pentacles. Apply it to any gender. It doesn't have to be gender specific here. Pretty much they want to become your match, I feel. So it almost feels like there's something lingering here where it's like, not now, but soon maybe. Or in the future. It's almost like they're putting a pause. Maybe that's what Spirit also wants to say, is that it's not a complete dead end with this person. They may just need some time to work things out internally. Okay, let's see what's underneath that Judgment card then. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. This person actually might be your soulmate, I'm just saying. Can I get an instant replay on that? It could be an inspiration to this person, and they're like, okay, maybe if they build themselves up to this Queen of Pentacles, maybe I can build myself up to the King of Pentacles. Because I just said that they are going to work on themselves to become the King of Pentacles to your Queen of Pentacles, baby. Thank you, Spirit. That is a beautiful message. Okay, so if you're wondering where your soulmate is, Spirit says, hold on, boo, they're coming. I like that. I like that a lot. Spirit, that was actually really funny. I thought that was really funny. Because what are the odds? What are the odds? That does not happen every day. But neither does a connection like this happen every day. I think this is a person that, even if they're young, they're not stupid. They know a good catch when they see one, and I feel like they want to become your perfect mate. It just is what it is. So it may take them some time, but they're readying themselves for you. So if you're wondering, maybe this is the question that you have about like what you need to know. If you're like, hey, where the hell is my soulmate at? Spirit's here to say they have those feelings for you. They are not questioning those feelings for you, but they are maybe way more insecure than maybe you realize. Yeah, they probably would want to put their, best face forward, best foot forward, when it comes to impressing you. So maybe on the surface, they don't really show that they're insecure, but they definitely got to work on stuff within them, it feels like, before they're ready to match your vibe. Because also they see you as somebody very valuable. And so they wouldn't want to insult that value by showing up as somebody that is beneath you. That would just be disrespectful in their mind, I feel. Okay, well then let's go on to the Knight of Swords, please. And thank you, Spirit. What is this Knight of Swords telling us? What does the collective need to know about this Knight of Swords? Please and thank you, Spirit. Okay, too many. We'll take the top one, but not the rest. Anything else about that Knight of Swords, please and thank you, Spirit? What does the collective need to know about it? Okay. Very interesting. Clarifying that. Have I been saying the King of Swords? I meant the Knight of Swords. Just to remind you, it came out in this direction. And I read sideways cards a little bit differently. I see this as somebody that is not just coming towards you, but is coming towards you with a fury. And not in a bad way, like just very passionately. Maybe even suddenly. There's some sort of sudden message or sudden energy from this person. But anyways, it was clarified by the Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, the Eight of Swords, and then the bottom of the deck, we have this cutie again, the King of Pentacles. I smell a love rivalry here. I think that this Knight of Swords could be this King of Wands. And this is somebody that's very much attracted to you. May even be fantasizing about you, to be honest. Especially privately, if you catch my drift. King of Wands, though, very fiery, very ambitious, go-getter, not afraid to be who they are, not afraid to kind of like share what's on their heart, what's on their mind. But they're very charismatic with it. I feel like the reason that this person's rushing in, though, is because they've been in their head for quite some time about a connection they've been feeling with you. Eight of Swords here. They may have been overthinking it or feeling stuck. Oh, maybe they felt like they were stuck when it came to pursuing a connection with you. They may be feeling stuck, or they have been. This Eight of Swords depiction always gives me the energy of somebody that's figured out that they can actually leave this internal prison that maybe they created. So it seems like they've grown conscious that they've been holding themselves back, and now they wish to free themselves. And they may be rushing in very unexpectedly. But the thing is, for one, I'm not so sure about the depth of this connection with this King of Wands, because I'm not really seeing any cup cards or any really romantic cards. They definitely are attracted to you. They've been thinking a lot about you, but it almost feels like this is a reaction to sensing something with you. And it could be, it could be that you, and this is like kind of interesting and weird, but this person may sense, and it's not even necessarily that you are currently with your soulmate. I mean, you definitely could be if you're watching this. It doesn't have to, that part of the reading doesn't have to pertain to you specifically, but it feels like just because you've met your soulmate, there's something with that that's like, I'm getting a picture of like dropping a rock into the water and seeing the ripple effect. It's like you meeting your soulmate was that stone in the water, creating this ripple effect, and that ripple effect can be felt by others. And I think that this King of Wands maybe has been attracted to you for some time now, but for one reason or another hasn't really done anything. But now that maybe your attention has shifted, or they simply sense that there's something going on your end, and it probably is that you have met your soulmate. And this person may be hot and bothered about that. I feel like they want to... I would probably see the King of Wands as a pretty competitive person because they're so go-getter, I feel like this would be probably somebody that's, into competition. I mean, the King of Wands is a very confident person, but so is the King of Pentacles. But the thing is with the King of Pentacles, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the Queen of Pentacles, is like the energy is more so like, I have built a foundation within. I know who I am, what I stand for, all of that. And I let that direct me through life. But the King of Wands confidence maybe a little bit more ego-based, doesn't always have to be, but I feel like the King of Wands probably accumulates their confidence through interactions. Like every interaction is seen as like a little victory. That's kind of the energy I get with the King of Wands, where it's like, oh, this person fell for my charisma. That means that I'm hot, or whatever, and that kind of feeds their confidence. Or they work through maybe a business agreement and they're like, I convinced them to do this deal with me. That must mean that I'm super smart, or and they kind of let that feed their confidence. Whereas the King of Pentacles doesn't really need external validation like the King of Wands does. And the King of Wands, I'm definitely generalizing here. Just because somebody is a King of Wands doesn't necessarily mean that their confidence is solely based off of ego and interactions with others. But in terms of this reading, definitely could be somebody that, identifies with their confidence in a way that's maybe more egoic. Whereas maybe your soulmate, the person that you're meant to be with, especially if it's that person from before, they've been working on building that inner confidence. And I feel like that kind of confidence is way more unshakable, because the thing about people is they're very unpredictable, random, like you can never really depend upon other people's validation because it fluctuates person to person, day to day. But especially if this is somebody that feels like they held a place in your heart at one point, or um, but it feels like maybe this King of Wands is sort of triggered by the idea, because it may not even be anything like super serious yet, but this person feels like there's a change in your energy, or maybe they're just sensitive to energy and they feel something. And so it's like now they have to act, even if they're uncomfortable with doing so, because it's, oh, okay. They want to, oh, I'm so sorry, but this is the message coming through. They want to claim what's theirs, quotation marks, because nobody owns you. You don't owe anyone anything. But this person, for some reason, feels like they're losing their grip on you, is what I feel. And that scares them, and that's going to push them into action here. They're very enthusiastic about it, but the thing is, especially with like the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Wands as well, although they're not showing up as the Knight of Wands, they're the King of Wands, so there's like a little bit of similar qualities. Not super long-term oriented types of people. Whereas the King of Pentacles is more long-term thinking. So maybe this is just the message from Spirit saying, look out for somebody here to want to rush things, maybe. Not really take their time getting to know you. Not really take their time to really develop anything. They may be thinking mostly with their logic and their you-know-what. It may be more about the conquest. And just, yeah, it feels very egoic. Feels like this person, they may feel validated when they win in a romantic situation. Win, whatever that is. So it may even be just because you're hot, just because you have them in their head, and there may be competition. That's what's causing this person to go forward. They might not even have a plan. That's the thing with that Eight of Swords too. Yeah. This also may be somebody that doesn't really have healthy thinking patterns that may be necessary for a long-term relationship. So I feel like that's kind of just what Spirit wants to let you know, is like this person may be coming in very passionately, very enthusiastically. They may really, kind of build a good case for themselves, so to speak. But it feels slightly superficial. But of course, you're going to be the judge of that. And it could vary according to who's watching this, of course. So trust your intuition first and foremost, and pay attention to actions and behavior. Because maybe this person wants to rush you, whereas the person that's meant for you would want to take their time. Yeah, I'm curious what's underneath this King of Pentacles now. Five of Pentacles. So, although we did see this before in relation to the King of Pentacles, I am now seeing this Five of Pentacles as being maybe the reason why this King of Wands wants to rush in all of a sudden, is because they could be very insecure inside. This could be another person where it's like on the surface, they look pretty put together. They may even have some sort of important job being a king. Like, not literally, this isn't like a literal king, but like they're a king of their domain, or they're like, good at what they do. They have a reputation for it. Responsibility and all that. But they may be more insecure than they let on. But also, the Five of Pentacles, what I was talking about before, was that feeling of being on the outside looking in. I think that this is somebody that does not want to see you end up with anyone else. They're terrified, I want to say, of the idea of you dating somebody else, having to see that, having to be on the outside looking in at your love life. I'm sorry, this just gives off a feeling of like a dog marking its territory, like peeing on a freaking fire hydrant or something. It's just so weird. It's like, okay, like that's it. Like that's your whole story. Okay, let's see what's underneath that Five of Pentacles. Judgment. Yeah. It could be that this feeling, or the fear of this feeling being on the outside looking in at your life, has now motivated them into action. Like yeah, it's almost like it doesn't even really matter if you are with somebody else or not. It's like just feeling that fear of maybe you're no longer available to me, or you may become unavailable to me. I feel like that's the scary part, and that's what's triggering this person into motion. I think that this person probably even compares themselves to other people, which would make sense when we were talking earlier about how their confidence may be more so ego-based and not really like sturdy and foundational like the other type of confidence. Interesting. And the Eight of Swords is giving me this energy of like, maybe this is somebody who breadcrumbed you for a while, but they were so stuck in their head that nothing really ever happened between the two of you. And so maybe you will be slightly annoyed at this person coming in now, because maybe you can kind of see through their intentions here and kind of see through like why now? Why now particularly, and not before when I actually was into you? That's what it feels like to me. But again, it will probably be different for every one of you. And I would just, yeah, I think Spirit just wants you to trust your intuition first and foremost, especially if you have some sort of history with that person. Okay, let's go on to the Eight of Wands now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to know about this Eight of Wands? Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to know in relation to this Eight of Wands, though? Oh. Okay. Well then, so the Eight of Wands was clarified by Five of Wands, the Temperance card, the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands as well. We got two Eight of Wands here. Double confirmation. So because there are two different there's like two Eight of Wands here, and the Eight of Wands can deal with communication. You may have two separate conversations with two separate people potentially, or it's just somebody that's really, really, really wanting to talk to you about something. But there's also the whole concept of moving things forward. Forward motion, forward progress with the Eight of Wands. So it could be that somebody here wants to make something go forward. It's also very interesting that this King of Pentacles popped out now, because I wonder if it's this King of Pentacles who was maybe originally that Page of Cups we saw at the beginning of this reading, but now they've done that internal work with the Temperance card. They've done some healing. some soul searching. Maybe they got connected back into spirit if they're a spiritual person. And that may have also kind of helped them build confidence. But it's feeling like maybe this Page of Cups has turned into this King of Pentacles, and this King of Pentacles wants to really talk about something here that they want to push forward or move forward with. So maybe if they were stuck before and you were like, I can sense that this person has feelings for me, but why aren't they doing anything? They may now have what they think they need to move things forward. It could also be something about clarity. So maybe it's not even necessarily a conversation that you're going to have with this person, but maybe this person had a conversation with somebody else and that gave them clarity about maybe how silly they were being. Like, I don't need to be perfect to come into union with my person. Maybe something along those lines. Also, the Temperance has to do with patience as well, taking your time, tempering yourself. And it's interesting too, the first card that came out to clarify that Eight of Wands is the Five of Wands. And if we're going with this storyline here, this person could have felt very conflicted at one point about their feelings for you. And again, I don't think it's necessarily that they were doubting their feelings or it was something about you. I don't think that's what it is at all. It could even be other people's thoughts and opinions that they thought about and maybe worried about. Well, we were picking up earlier that this might be somebody younger than you. Maybe there's like some sort of taboo. Well, according to society, I would say most age gaps kind of get a judgy look to them, but I would say it's probably more taboo for the feminine to be older than the masculine. So if it's that kind of situation, that could definitely be a thing here. But the Five of Wands to the Temperance card, that feels like calming down those inner anxieties. And I like this person because they're responsible, because it's like they could have, in this Five of Wands energy, before they calmed down their nervous system and really reflected on this and dived deep, they could have acted out of this Five of Wands energy, because there's a lot of energy to the Five of Wands, I would say. And so with that internal conflict, they could have acted upon that, but they chose not to. They chose to instead, they paid attention to those internal fears, those internal conflicts. And it feels like with that Temperance card, they took the time to really meditate on this. Definitely calm themselves down. Definitely tried to create a sense of balance, especially because they don't want to make the wrong decision, I feel. And they don't want to do something that they're going to regret, which the Five of Wands, if you act out of a place of Five of Wands, probably more than likely you're doing something that you may regret later on, because you weren't really fully thinking. It was more so about the energy and the passion and the, all that, and not really taking the time to really make a plan. Or it can sometimes be an impulsive energy, I would say, with the Five of Wands. But this is somebody that does not want to be impulsive. It's kind of funny that this person doesn't want to be impulsive, because I think I was kind of getting that for the King of Wands we just saw. Very much two separate energies showing up here. One may not be so much of like a forethought or somebody that's able to foresee and plan and predict. The King of Wands was kind of that energy. But I think this King of Pentacles is much more responsible. And like the Temperance card, I would say that that's probably them wanting to show up as their best self. Most aligned, most enlightened, highest vibration possible. But also at the same time, that Temperance card is also another beautiful thing because of the patience aspect to it. Okay, I'm also getting a message about how you've been patient with this person. They really appreciate that. They could see you as somebody that's very patient, which the Queen of Pentacles is definitely a patient person. I would definitely describe them as that. But the patience part of the Temperance card, maybe they're recognizing, yeah, they're definitely not going to want to rush anything with you. Whereas I thought the King of Wands had that kind of energy where they might want to rush things. But this person, although they do want to come in and communicate to you very enthusiastically, this is a much more grounded, responsible, mature energy in comparison to the King of Wands we saw before. They may also recognize that the connection that the two of you have needs some time to develop. It almost is like, sometimes I hate that these concepts are so woo-woo that it's hard to put into words because I'm seeing two different liquids. And the way that I know that they're two different liquids is because they're different colors. They're like purple and green. And they like flow together. Oh my gosh, this is gonna not make sense at all. But like they flow together and kind of mix around together until they create their own color. And I feel like that's kind of what this relationship may need. Maybe it's not quite ready enough yet to, pluck the fruit from the tree or whatever. But they wish to grow with you. They wish to learn you. They wish to let things happen naturally. So if they were resistant to this, even though like Spirit was telling them go forward, go towards the collective, and at one point if they were resistant to that, they are no longer resistant to it. But they are neither resistant to it, but they're also not rushing or acting impulsively or being irresponsible. There's none of that chaotic energy now. This is somebody who definitely has worked on themselves, who's very grounded. Even if this person hasn't always been confident, they're growing the ability to be grounded, or they've always had that ability to kind of ground themselves. Maybe when they get stressed or something triggers them. Also, interesting how we have this Five of Wands, and you look at the image, it's a lot of wands crisscrossing all over the place. A little bit messy, I dare say. But then we look at the bottom of the deck being the Eight of Wands. All of those wands are now straight. They look more organized. This could be somebody that needed to like gather their thoughts, kind of meditate on this in order to gain that calmness of mind, but maybe also work out some internal things as well. Straighten things up. Maybe get them more organized. Because the thing about organizing your thoughts and, the stuff that goes on in here, sometimes just naming that thing is enough for it to get organized. Because once you know that something is a problem, you can now add that to your to-do list, right? And I feel like maybe this person has learned a lot through this inner reflection, and maybe they're kind of excited now to express to you maybe a little bit of what they were experiencing, what they've been doing, how they've been working on themselves, how they have been growing. And maybe now that they're in a better place, they're very much excited to come forward and communicate with you. But yeah, it's definitely not unplanned, whereas the King of Wands felt more impulsive and unplanned. This King of Pentacles is very much thinking long-term, long game, like not just right here, right now. Although I think that the King of Pentacles is able to be present, it's not all about just being present. This is also somebody that is also future minded. Yeah. Let's see what's underneath that Eight of Wands. Six of Cups. Ooh. So they want to share some love with you. Oh. There's something about you giving them something. And this doesn't have to be a literal physical thing. You showed this person some sort of understanding and compassion. Like, even when they were still just a guppy, you still treated them with love, respect, dignity. You didn't make them feel stupid. You didn't make them feel like naive. You didn't make them feel anything less than your equal, is what I want to say. And so now that they've developed into someone that they think could make you very happy, I feel this sense of them wanting to like return the favor. This is actually really sweet. This person definitely sees the kindness of your heart, the purity of your heart, I want to say. I definitely feel like this is somebody that knows that whatever they put into you, they're going to get back because you're that type of person. So they see this as a very worthy investment, and that would explain why they took the effort to work on themselves, why they took that opportunity to take a step back, recalibrate, and then come forward prepared. I like that a lot. There may also be a lot of love between the two of you. Inner children healing could definitely be a thing. Wow. Let's see what's underneath that Six of Cups then. Six of Swords. Double sixes. Oh, so we have double eights. Yeah. The Six of Swords, though, that's a really beautiful card. So if this person was experiencing chaos, or if you were, the two of you together are looking towards a very calm, peaceful, optimistic future. So whether it's you both had a chaotic past that you've been healing from, or maybe it's just this person, or maybe it's just you, but I'm inclined to say it's something to do with this King of Pentacles here. Honestly, I feel like there's something here about how the both of you have kind of the same goals, and that doesn't have to mean that you're like in the same career field or whatever, or that like it's specific, you know, super specific or anything. But I think you both just crave a peaceful life, and you're going towards that. And I almost feel like this is kind of funny in a way, because it's like this is definitely what I would think of as a soulmate connection, because it almost feels like, especially because you two are so similarly minded in terms of like maybe self-growth, future planning. It's almost like it doesn't even matter. How do I word that? Like your paths were truly meant to cross. If not now, then eventually. You know what I mean? It feels like because the two of you are so compatible, because the two of you do very similar things when it comes to your own investment and improvement, pretty much because you two are very similar and very similar minded, focused. It's like it's just a natural convergence of these two energies. Like it's just the natural way. It's just natural how it plays out like that. And I wonder if the more you kind of get to know each other, the more you kind of share each other's backstories, I feel like you're going to see this, where it's like you may have very similar pasts, you may have very similar goals, and maybe you kind of look at each other like, wow, I didn't realize that there was somebody out there that's just like me. Somebody that And of course, it doesn't have to be that this person's exactly like you, because that would be creepy to date your own clone or something. But more or less, you guys really bond over some really particular things. And that could just be how you haven't given up on yourself, how you refuse to let the past replay itself, how you choose better because you know that you deserve better and you go towards the future knowing that, or something like that. Very beautiful. You're very mirroring, it feels like. And not in like a narcissistic way of like projecting who you want to see them as, but more so just like an effortless mirror where it's just like, maybe you even share the same thoughts sometimes. Maybe you're like, it could even get creepy to the point where you're like, you start a sentence and then they complete that sentence for you. I don't know why that's coming through, but that could definitely be a thing. Well, since we have the Eight of Wands that we're clarifying, we have the Eight of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I think the two of you really like to talk to each other. You may actually have some really good like brainstorms together. Maybe you're both really big talkers, or you just enjoy conversations, getting to know each other, talking as much as possible. Yeah, yeah. There's something very simplistic about this connection with this person, but not in a boring way, in a comforting way. Because I feel like this person is very transparent in the way of like, you're never going to doubt or have to guess or, question. I feel like this person's very open, honest. Maybe like an open book, and maybe you are too. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the Page of Pentacles now. Please and thank you, Spirit. What does the collective need to know about this Page of Pentacles? Please and thank you. What does the collective need to know right now about this Page of Pentacles? What's going on here? What's going on here with the Page of Pentacles? What's even this? What's even this? What's even this, though? What is this Page of Pentacles all about? Please and thank you, Spirit. What did you do there? Mamma mia, pizzeria. Interesting. Okay. Page of Pentacles. The Moon card. Nine of Pentacles came out like that. Okay. And then bottom of the deck, we got Chariot. Also, for major arcana signs, we had Lovers, Gemini, Temperance is Sagittarius, the Moon, which is Pisces, the Chariot, which is Cancer. Yeah. And then we saw Judgment earlier. So that's Scorpio and Libra. Okay. So, are you about to get rich? Or something is about to make you rich? Or at the very least, it's going to be paying off in, like, it's a monetary investment that you made that is going to be paying off for you. It could definitely have to do with some sort of work you've been working on, maybe a project. And because it is the Page of Pentacles that we're clarifying, you may have started out in some ways like a guppy, which is kind of funny because we were talking about the person earlier as a guppy. But maybe you started in this field of work, or like this project or something here. You weren't super experienced when you started out, but I feel like you've gained a lot of experience through this process of investing into something over a long amount of time. And the Moon card, that's all about what is hidden, what you don't see. And also there could be some, that's kind of funny. That kind of goes back to the mirroring message, actually. I was about to say that maybe you don't see how far you've come, and maybe you still think you're still a guppy. But I think maybe you are a freaking whale at this point. You're way more past being a guppy. I think that you're actually very skilled now, because maybe it's that, honestly, Yeah, practice really makes perfection because it's like you stay at something long enough. It's just the natural process. You're going to get the hang of it. You're going to get good at it. Um, Even if it takes you a long time to get a hold of, the concepts or whatever. It's just kind of how life works. And I feel like there's going to be a surprise here about something paying off way more than you realize. And I think it also helps you realize just how far you've come. The Page of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles, I mean, that's pretty dramatic. And because the Nine of Pentacles came out like that, like I said, I kind of read the sideways ones a little bit differently. When they come out in that direction, it feels super positive, like a force for good or a force that's like pushing something forward. Um, and there's typically enthusiasm behind that as well. So it feels like this success that you're going to be coming into, it's going to make you feel really good about yourself. Because not only is it going to provide you security, stability, abundance, I feel like you're going to just be able to admire the fruits of your labor here. And there's also a part of the Nine of Pentacles that deals with being independent. And maybe this is an opportunity for you to become more independent, to support yourself. Maybe it's even a career path that you literally did not even see as becoming a way to like create revenue or income. Like maybe it could be like a passive form of income. Maybe you got a book out there and it's selling by the millions. You never know, right? But yeah, it could be something that you even did as a passion project potentially. Maybe you simply started out because you just were very curious, very interested in whatever this was. And maybe it just started out with an interest. Maybe you did some research and you kind of like picked up things here and there. And then the more you practice, the more you got the hang of it. Like it feels like something started out so small, but it's about to really blow up in a very positive way. And it's going to make you feel really good about yourself. And it may even help you go forward with more confidence in your life, especially if you've been doubting yourself. If you've been feeling like, oh, I'm still a guppy in this big ocean here, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, especially if you've been doubting yourself and still feeling like, oh, I'm still a guppy in this big ocean and I don't know what I'm doing and I feel lost, maybe. Something's about to happen that is going to help you to realize that no longer are you that guppy. And that's something that's good to know. You're way more experienced now. You're way more skilled than that guppy was. But also, you're on the right path. You're on the right track. You know what you are here for. Like it could be in some sort of confirmation of like, okay, so this is what I'm meant to do. Because it grounds you. It makes you feel like you are home. And it's something that you like. It's something that you enjoy, something that gives you a sense of purpose or pleasure or contentment. Pretty much it seems like something's going forward in a really positive way and it's going to be making you feel really good. And I think it's also something that you've done yourself is what I feel. So it's like be proud of yourself, especially when you come into the fruits of your labor. Definitely appreciate how far you've come. The fact that you never gave up. The fact that you were consistent enough to see results in the first place. Like there's so many things to be very proud of yourself. And I hope that you do that. You take the time to really appreciate how far you've come, all that you've accomplished. Even if you may not be able to kind of see it fully right now, it's going to become clear to you. So that's what Spirit wants you to know about that part. I like it. And the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. So the Chariot can deal with overcoming obstacles and challenges. So if there was a roadblock that was keeping you from seeing the results of your labor, maybe that roadblock is being removed for you. Maybe you're overcoming that. Maybe you didn't foresee overcoming that challenge because maybe at one point it looked like a big old mountain. And you're like, how the hell am I ever going to cross that? But you stayed at it. You were determined. You stayed focused. And eventually you got over that mountain. That's what it feels like. Let's see what's underneath that Chariot card. 8 of Wands. That's really funny because in terms of this context, well, of course, it could always be a conversation that leads to this opportunity, of course. But more than anything, it talks of forward progress. So if you've been feeling stuck, stagnant, you've been feeling in the dark when it comes to something, you don't have all the details, you're like, what the hell's going on? That is becoming clear, and you're going to be experiencing a lot of forward motion in something here. It feels very positive. It also feels like this is something that you're passionate about, and that's maybe part of it. It's like it's not just about maybe the paycheck, but just knowing that you can do something that you love and like receive something from it. Yeah. But it feels really good. It feels really positive. Let's see what's underneath that 8 of Wands. 10 of Wands. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I can see that because you've been busting your butt, putting in the investments, doing the hard work. So it's like it makes sense that you will be coming into this success because you've put in the work first and foremost, even when it was difficult, even when it felt like it may be pointless. I'm never seeing the results of this. You kept at it. And that is a beautiful quality to have. I'm just curious what's underneath that 10 of Wands, though. 5 of Swords. Yeah, you were maybe letting your fear get to you. Insecurities from your past may have, may have been rising up, which that Moon card deals also with emotions. So maybe during this episode of being in the dark or not seeing the results or maybe feeling a little bit of fear because things are uncertain, it could have brought up a lot of triggers for you from the past. A lot of maybe thoughts of unworthiness or thoughts of doubt, thoughts of like self-criticism is what I feel. But I feel like you're on the path to no longer giving into those things within you, like the self-criticism. Let's see what's underneath that 5 of Swords. 6 of Swords. Okay, so yeah, that's beautiful. Your future is looking bright, and it's going to be so much more calm, peaceful, optimistic, worth having, more opportunities compared to your past. And because the 6 of Swords is starting to slide down, I'm curious. 2 of Swords underneath that. So yeah, there's probably a decision that you need to make. But I think you're probably really good, especially if you're tapped into your intuition. It's going to be no big deal to make this decision. You're going to definitely make the right one. I think it's going to be obvious. And because this is sliding down, I just want to see what's underneath. King of Swords. Okay. Maybe the King of Swords is the person that's offering you this opportunity. Somebody very logical, very intellectual. They may think that your brain is very special and the way that your brain works is very special, and it could be bringing about it. Yeah, it could be that this is somebody that thinks that you're like the perfect person for a job here because of your brain, because of the way your brain works, because of your outlook, your perception, your perspective. Something about your internal world is very much important when it comes to this opportunity. And it feels like it's kind of specifically for you. You may even feel like a position is so perfect that like maybe you're even like, damn, this was like meant for me, Oh, interesting. We have the 5 of Swords at the bottom of this one too. So you've definitely gone through a lot of pain in your past. You have not been treated well by others. And I think that those experiences left their mark on you psychologically. They may kind of from time to time, especially when you're going through a period of stagnation, not seeing the results you want to. That, like, all of those doubts can be so triggered, and you may even think, damn, I thought I already worked through this, but it's coming up again, you know? I feel like there's going to be something happening where you're going to feel full again, whole again. If you've been feeling super depleted, I feel like something's going to be taking place that will make you feel better. Let's just read that Five of Swords. Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles, double confirmation. You're about to be a rich bitch. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, you might. Nine of Pentacles. I'm just saying. But more than that, it's about stability, security, abundance. And also knowing that you did that. You did that for yourself. And that's maybe one of the biggest reminders of self-love here. You didn't give up on yourself. I'm just curious what's underneath that. King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. A lot of double confirmations in this one, but very positive ones, I would say. I think that you will be coming into union with your soulmate, especially because this soulmate sees how special this is and that you're worth all of the investment that they make into themselves and into the connection with you. I think that's going to make you feel very happy, and it's maybe even going to heal some of that past pain, the trauma from the past. It may actually help you see things differently, comprehend things differently. Yeah, especially if that's all that you've ever experienced is pain, mistreatment. You may be coming into a chapter where you finally feel like life isn't just about suffering. There's some good. It's possible to create your own reality, maybe, or manifest the things that you want. And that's going to be a beautiful moment for you. Let's see if the Oracle has anything to add to this. Please and thank you, Spirit. Anything to add to this reading? Anything that the collective should know? Any messages for the collective in general? Anything you think would help them or guide them or give them some sort of sense of anything that they meet? Okay, that's way too many. Okay, I think we're going a little overboard now. Okay, I'm going to show you all the cards that came out, even though it's a lot. Because maybe there's a reason. Maybe they all have messages in them that are important for you to hear. Yeah. All right, so let's start from the top. Okay, we see there is, okay, why am I, my brain just went blank for a second. Okay, this one is hedge, and it represents potential, boundaries, and indecision. Either you saw potential in someone or somebody saw potential in you. You may also be really good with boundaries, which I feel like the Queen of Pentacles would definitely be good with boundary setting. And I feel like you have inspired somebody to also create healthy boundaries with others. Also, with the indecision part, I don't think you're indecisive. I think that you've learned to trust yourself when it comes to making decisions, is what I want to say. I feel like you don't doubt yourself nearly as much as you may have used to in the past. And then we have trunk. This represents stability, loyalty, and reliability. I think you are this sort of energy for a lot of people. You're like a rock for those that you love. You're very stable. Reliable, yeah. Loyal. Maybe that has something to do with the relationship that you're attracting. Somebody that's just as loyal as you are, just as stable as you are, clearly with the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. But maybe also somebody that's just as reliable as you are. And maybe that's a really surprising quality for this person, especially if that's not what you're used to. And then we have seeds. This represents new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. This feels like the beginning of a beautiful relationship. Also, with new ideas, maybe you're including new ideas into your projects or you're feeling very inspired creatively. Um, but that sense of hope and open mindedness and new ideas, it just feels like there's a new beginning opening up for you, and you're going to be able to see how. How are there so many interruptions? Anyways, um, but yeah, you're going to be able to see something start out as a seed and grow into maybe a great big tree. But a tree that's full of fruit, so it gets to feed all the animals, some humans, the ecosystem. Anyways, something really beautiful is taking off here, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so then we have the Earth card, and this represents peace and grounding. Ooh, there was something about groundedness that I picked up on earlier. I think you have that really good, sturdy foundation within from knowing yourself very well. And yeah, earlier I said that you may have inspired that Page of Cups to the King of Pentacles person, may have inspired them to ground themselves or find that inner foundation. Peace also is beautiful because that reminds me of the Six of Swords energy, which is all about going towards a more peaceful, tranquil future for yourself. And then we have the Winter card. This is representing an ending, recharging, reflection. You may need to rest right now, especially if you've been busting your butt. You probably deserve a little bit of a rest. Also, an ending. It's kind of funny that I see that ending and I look up and I see the King of Wands. So, if there was any confusion around that, maybe you're like, no, honey, I'm done. I am not interested in what you're selling anymore. Because you've had plenty of time to reflect upon something, is what I feel. Pretty much, I feel like you're coming to a point in your life where you know what is going to work for you and what is not. Yeah, especially when you understand yourself on such a deep level, you're like, I know that's not what I want. You can look at something from miles away and be like, that ain't it. And then we have the card Buds. This represents new beginnings and expansion. New beginnings. That's like the second card that says something about new beginnings, right? Yeah. So something's getting started here. I think something that's going to be very beautiful and very exciting. And then we have the Fruit card. This represents achievement and success. Ooh, baby. You're about to become successful, which is all about that Nine of Pentacles energy, right? So that's nothing too surprising. Achievement, though. That makes me think of like a trophy or a award or something. Because it almost feels like not only are you achieving something and you're like, yay, I achieved this thing, but I feel like there's going to be maybe some sort of physical reminder of what you've accomplished. Something maybe tangible. And you're able to be like, see, that's my success there. And maybe it's simply just taking a picture on that day that you get good news, or maybe it's something like if you get like a raise and you're like, okay, well, then I can buy this little thing for myself. And, it's like a token for myself, a token of appreciation for myself or something. And then bottom of the deck, we have Cauldron. This represents creation, opportunity, and caring. I think a lot of opportunities are opening up for you. And I think you're exactly aligned to them. Also, creation. There's something about creativity. Lean into your creativity because that could lead you somewhere. And maybe that's kind of what's leading to your abundance here. So if you're like getting new ideas that you kind of want to explore or maybe just dabble in, maybe they're worth exploring. What is that saying about like success is when preparation meets opportunity? I'll have to include that, the actual quote, because I'm sure I'm butchering it, but something along those lines. Like success is preparation meets opportunity or something like that. So yeah, anything that you're working on right now, you may realize that there's an opportunity to expand upon it or to see it go somewhere. And maybe you didn't realize that. The caring part is also standing out to me on this card. And so that makes me think that I think you're going to be attracting a lot more people that are more caring about you if that's something that you lacked before. But people that also care after you. So in terms of like that relationship, you could have somebody here that is very caring, very devoted. Yeah. All right. So that is the reading. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And I hope that it resonated. If it did resonate, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, you can become a part of the Hive Collective because my name is Bee. Bees live in hives, and you can become an honorary bee like me, and we can be a bee family together. Anyways, what do I usually say after that? I got thrown off by using that voice. What the hell is my ending? My outro. If you liked this reading and you'd like to see more, be sure to click that bell icon down below so that YouTube actually notifies you the next time that I upload. And thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you so much, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.